All right, what is going on, my dudes? Listen, you all know the deal by now. This is supposed to be very hard content. You're going to be seeing solos all over the place. But guess what? Today on stream, the first time I got this guy down, I used 2 revives. I went on to solo him like 3 or 4 times. So I kind of wasted those items, but that is so beside the point, man. When you're going through this quest, these Eternity of Pain quests, or any quest, if you can't solo the fight, it is 100% okay, and that's what revives are there for. You get 1 for free every single day. Pop that 20% revive, do a couple Winter Soldier fights, get some free potions, and get through this fight with the best options for the fight we're going to go over right now. Let's get into it, man. So we have Kraven in week 2 of Eternity of Pain. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say it is easy, okay? Because it's definitely not easy. These fights are hard. But objectively speaking, compared to previous Eternity of Pain cycles, I do feel like MODOK and Kraven probably the easiest duo so far for weeks 1 and 2. The thing with this guy is that it really feels like most champions could do it. It's more of a skill-based fight, and I think what makes these fights very hard usually is that there's so many RPG counters that kind of limit the amount of champions who can get through the fight, right? So what definitely makes this tough though is that there aren't too many amazing options in these objectives. There are definitely a few amazing options, but if you don't have those, it might be a bit of a struggle for you to get through it without doing the objectives and everything. So we'll go over that though, okay? For number 10, let's start moving through it, okay? For number 10, I actually threw Cersei over here. She fits the defensive guard. Defensive guard, X-Force, and Symbiote is for Paragon this week. Cersei was good. The nodes here, if you don't know, I'm sure you do know if you're watching this video, there's Matador, right? So every time he uses a special attack, you're going to gain a bar of power. That's actually pretty good for Cersei because you can keep her Furies up. You get to 1 special 2. The one thing that's tough is that getting the initial large batch of Furies was a bit difficult. What I did was I actually pushed Kraven to a special 2, and then I used a heavy attack into the last hit of the special 2, and then I regenerated some of that back because of her Sig ability, and then I built up some transmutation buffs, and then I got a bunch of Furies, and then I kept baiting out his special attacks, and then I was using my special 1 to refresh the Furies, and it worked okay. I tried one time, I got him down to 50% health. I definitely think Cersei could potentially get a solo here if you have a Cersei ranked up, and if she's your only defensive guard champion, she could definitely be good. Up next, OG Storm. Now, OG Storm is okay for this. She fixed the X-Force objective. One issue is with OG Storm, you really do want to be using heavy attacks to refresh your prowess pretty often. So against Kraven here, the nodes are he starts unblockable, and then he's going to go unstoppable when you use a special attack, and to get rid of the unstoppable, you have to do a heavy attack, and he goes back to unblockable. So what you have to do is kind of keep him in the corner, bait out heavy attacks from him, and counter with your heavy attack to keep your prowess up. But if you get lucky on those special 2 crits, you could really do some very decent damage, get this guy down with a few special 2s, so it's going to take some RNG, but it is just tough to bait out those heavy attacks to counter with your own heavy attacks, so I'm definitely going to put her down low on my list personally, okay? So up next, we actually have OG Wolverine, and the reason being is because the way this fight works, right, is you're going to get rid of the unblockable by using special attacks, and you're going to get rid of the unstoppable using heavy attacks. But with Wolverine, you can kind of just bank your power. You don't really have to use special attacks, rely on the bleeds. He's not going to be the highest damage dealing champion here, but if your power is high, you can definitely bank some of that regen and keep yourself healthy in this fight, get the fight going a little bit longer, right? So you don't have to use too many revives for it. So Wolverine could definitely possibly solo this fight. I tried it one time, got him down to about 80% in about a minute or so, right? Not too bad. The bleeds are definitely putting in work. The regeneration buffs were definitely nice, but it kind of takes you out of the cycle of back and forth of special heavy that most of the champions on this list going forward are going to have. But yeah, just banking on the regen, it's just nice to have. It just keeps you alive longer, right? A little bit sustainable here. And up next, we have Venom. Now, Venom fits the symbiote objective, and he's very similar to Wolverine here, where he's going to be relying on those bleeds, right? So if you get some really solid RNG at the beginning with your buffs, you're going to have a really solid time. Kraven reduces non-damaging debuffs, but he does not touch damaging debuffs like the bleeds from Wolverine or Venom, okay? Up next, we have Domino. Domino picks X-Force, and she's just like, decent enough to use on offense. She's not my favorite champion to use. I do like her with the full Trinity, but on her own, she can definitely do pretty well against Kraven. Got some good special attack damage, and like I said, this is you really want to go for special attack, special attack, heavy attack to keep those buffs moving, right? And to use your special attack, her Domino special 2, obviously there's a lot of damage. Now, usually I do believe you want to use the special 2 when the opponent is stunned, but keep in mind, Kraven's probably going to be unblockable at this point, right? So you can't really do that unless her ability accuracy reduction turns that off. I'm not sure if she can do that or not here, but yeah, let's keep it moving. Colossus fits 2 objectives, defensive guard and X-Force. Kabam is selling this thing as well for like 750 units plus the rank up gems. Personally, man, I used Colossus first. This is the champion I used revives on because I was like, let's just get through it. I did not like Colossus for this fight at all. I also didn't like Hitmonkey for last week's MODOK, dude, and these are like the 2 like Kabam suggested counters. I really did not like Colossus for this. I feel like it really takes him out of his playstyle because you can't parry this guy before the special 2 ever. Well, I guess you could if you do it in a way where you have the special 2 going into the unstoppable. I guess you could. I don't know, man. I just feel like it's a little too finicky here. I kind of ended up just like fighting this guy like normal with Colossus, I was going for like, the special 2 and then parry heavy, all that stuff. So Colossus is fine for it. He fits 2 objectives. If you have a 6-star Colossus ranked up, it could be a good idea to go at it. I got him down 80% in one go, and then I used a revive, and then he killed me at 1%. So Colossus could absolutely solo the fight, no doubt about it. I just really don't like Colossus. I don't like using him. He feels clunky to me. Up next is Sunspot, dude. I used Sunspot one time, and he absolutely shredded, man. So the thing with Sunspot is that it's Matador, so you're getting your special attacks quickly, right? So when Kraven uses his special 1, the way to get around the root debuff that he puts on you is you want to use a special attack through the root. So Sunspot special 1 kind of goes like, right? So he kind of like travels with his like front flips or whatever. So I like to use the special 1 through the root, and it kind of like gets rid of that. So you don't have to push from the special 2 to avoid that root. And then after I used 2 special 1s, I went for a special 2. The entire thing did crit, but it did 275,000 damage, took him down to like 20% health, and then I ended up just like getting clipped and dying right after. But Sunspot was like on the way to very easily soloing this fight. Up next, we have my personal favorite option for the fight. We have Null. Null was so good, but it definitely does require a bit of knowledge of playing Null and like his abilities and how to get around doing his thing. So what I did first was I do have a Sig 200 Null, so we started with 15 Living Abyss debuffs on Kraven here. So basically what I did was I baited out a bunch of special attacks from Kraven, 3 of them actually, so I built it to a special 3. At this point, I had about 30 Living Abyss debuffs. I went for the special 3. He was now corrupted, right? And I was doing a lot of light well, first thing I had to bait out a heavy attack from him so I can counter with my heavy attack. The stuns are going to be very, very, very short because of his Sig ability, where, after 8 non-damaging debuffs, Null puts a lot of those on, he's going to become almost stun immune, right? Like pretty much stun immune. So what I did was I bait out a heavy attack. You can counter very easily with Null's heavy attack. Get rid of that. Okay, and then after that, I even let him like use the special 1 to place his root, like cool, enjoy your trap. I backed up a lot. I just did a lot of light intercepts, like light, backdraft, light, backdraft, light. If you don't know, Null reduces combat power rate based on the amount of armor breaks in the defender, so you have to bait out less special attacks. It was really, really, really solid, man. So if you're a Null player, you're definitely going to enjoy Null in this fight. And up next, man, freaking Dr. Doom, dude. We just literally got him in the corner and just chained heavy attack over and over. What you want to do first, though, is bait out a heavy attack, I found, and then I use a special 1 to nullify his unblockable, bait out a special attack, then use your special attack to get rid of his unblockable, get him in the corner, and it's going to take some RNG. I got it on my first try, but basically, you're going to be nullifying either... I think it's the unblockable coming back because if he has no buff, right? Or I don't even know what it is. But when you knock him down with a heavy attack, he gets the unblockable, okay? So when you get him in the corner, it's like you need a Sig 200 Dr. Doom, basically. And then you just keep putting the shock on him because you're nullifying the unblockable. And then you're going to be turning that shock into a passive stun, all right? So you want to keep that going. Now, the way it works is that when there's one stagger, you can keep this rotation going. But when that one stagger expires, you're going to have a brief moment where you go for a heavy attack and he's not stunned, okay? There's no shock and he's not stunned. So you have to get a little lucky, right? But like I literally got it on the first try, man. I had other people in the chat saying they got it on the first try as well. So yeah, maybe, I don't know, maybe he's not really coded to use his special 3 as much as the special 1 and 2. I don't know, but Dr. Doom, really good for it, obviously. You gotta love that cheese. And then for number 1, we have Strife. Strife's so good for it, man. Literally everything that you need for this fight, you got. So Strife, with 2 of his charges, I think a light ending combo, you can block unblockable attacks. His 2 things are unblockable and unstoppable here, right? So you can block that. You get rid of unstoppable at the cost of 1 of your charges, I believe. It might be 2, right? And it puts a passive stun on them, so he can't even reduce the duration of the stun. What I did with Strife here was I just pretty much bait out a special 1 or a special 2. It doesn't really matter. I do like to bait out special 2s from Kraven, though, just so there's no trap regardless, right? But yeah, the special 2, and then I got a special 1. What I did was I used a special 1. I let him hit into me, right? So after the special 1, he's going to get rid of the unblockable. He's going to go unstoppable. He hits into my face, and then I'm going to do a heavy attack. This is going to remove his unstoppable because I use a heavy attack, but at the same time, it's also going to make him passively stunned. Then I immediately go in and repeat the process. I push him up to a special attack. Special 1 is just fine. Bait it out, right? And then I use the special 1, and you just keep going like this. And Strife is just so good for it, man. You just keep in the rhythm of it. So yeah, that's Kraven, man. A couple additional tips for this fight is that when he is using a special 2, when he's using a special 1, try not to dash back all the way, because if you're away from him for 4 seconds or more, you're going to go rooted, and you don't want that to happen. So his special attacks they're very long. They have a long animation, but you can definitely stay relatively close. So just don't freak out when he uses a special attack. Just stay put a little bit. Wait until the root timer goes away on you, and then you can dash back, and then you can come in and counter. So keep that in mind. That's it for this one. This is my top 10 list here for Symbiote, Defensive Guard, and X-Force. It's just a YouTube top 10 list. It's not law, okay? It's just my opinion here. But yeah, man, that's it for this one. If you enjoyed it, drop a like. Comment who you used for Kraven in the comment section below. And yeah, that's it, man. That's it, man. Not mon, man. Just seeing you around.